JJ Weather. Brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Hawk Fanatic is on the air. It's brought to you by our friends at Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Steve Anderson and the crew there. Mike's Key, E-Keys for Cars. Supple's Building and Remodeling. 800 Rose. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers. Premier Automotive. The Oxyoke Inn in the Amanas. Streets Maintenance. And Dr. Lance Forbes at Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. Both Steve and I were there Monday.
At Dr. Forbes' place?
Yeah. I expected to see him because he had a 1:30 and I had a 2, but he was only there for like 10 minutes.
Did he have a sign for you, too?
He did not.
He did.
No, I don't rate for that.
Well, I think that is disrespectful.
I thought so, too. But he told me my teeth look good, and that's all I wanted to hear.
Good.
So
you do want to hear your dentist say that.
Yes. Yeah. And the cleaning didn't take an inordinate amount of time, so apparently I'm taking care of my teeth pretty good. So,
well, good for you.
Yeah, there you go.
That is very good to know.
Well, we had just a tremendous game last night.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, it was kind of a must-win, and it wasn't very people weren't very optimistic going into the game, but they sure stepped up.
East Lansing's always a tough place to win, and this isn't a vintage Michigan State team. Yeah. But on the other hand, they're a pretty solid team. They'd won 8 out of their last 10. It's a good team.
These aren't on.
Oh.
Sorry about that. Got it now yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's take our first phone call.
Okay, let's do it.
Hello, Karn.
Hello. I listened to the first half of the game last night while I was watching baseball. Mm-hmm. And it sounded to me like they were doing real well, even without Owen Freeman in there most of the time.
Yeah, it was interesting because Owen Freeman didn't play very much because of foul trouble, so he didn't score his usual amount of points. And
what's the deal with him always getting so many fouls?
Because he commits them.
Well, yeah. But is there a way we can have him work in there without having to constantly commit so many fouls?
Well, that's up for the coaching staff to figure out. And
he's a freshman, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also watched Creighton and UConn last night.
And UConn won?
Creighton.
No, Creighton won.
Really?
They won by a large score. They were ahead by quite a bit most of the game.
Wow. Good. That's a big win for them.
Yeah, they beat the number 1 team, first time in history.
Yeah, that's really cool. Good for them.
But the game I saw, Iowa won 20-6.
Yeah, it was, and they beat us last year, didn't they? Didn't Norris beat us? Yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago.
Man,
yeah, they did win.
Awesome.
So anyway, well, I'm going to go to church, so if any of you guys need a prayer, let me know.
All right, well,
just why don't you just cover all of us when you go, okay?
Yeah, if you want to pray for us, we'll just do a blanket or text us or something.
Okay, we'll talk to you later. Have a good day.
You too.
So does God have a text line like we do for our auctions?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think he's got you don't need to text. It's a direct line, anytime you like.
Gotcha.
That's what we were told.
So, got Peyton to come on at 10 o'clock today, Pat?
Yeah, I've got a number. We'll be calling him at 10.
Awesome.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
We just got to get there.
We'll get there one way or the other.
So, the game last night, I didn't get a chance.
I didn't watch it. I don't have Peacock. Dallas covered it.
Yeah, and I didn't get to watch it either, so we're going to rely on Mr. Suter.
Well,
I read the box score. I mean, you can see why they won. It's not rocket science.
We played better defense, and I'll tell you what.
They missed a ton of open shots.
They missed like 8 layups, and they missed half their free throws.
They're just not that good of a shooting team.
No, that's right.
And that's what we said that before the game. They're just I mean, they've been playing well, but they're still not a vintage Michigan State
No.
team. They're just not that good,
No.
especially on offense. And they're not good enough on defense and as rebounders to make up for what they lack on offense. And last night was an off night for them. They've had them.
Yeah.
I mean, they were 1-3 in the conference at one point.
Yep.
And Peyton had 22. I mean, he's really playing well right now. He's kind of put the team on his back offensively. Then Cricky had 18 and 14.
Cricky had a great game.
And so yeah, because Tony only had 7, and I think Dix had 2. And then didn't Patrick have
14
off the bench? So okay, so you've got 22, and then you get 8. That's 54 points from 3 players right there.
Yeah.
That's almost and they had was it 78-71? Yeah. No, it was an impressive win. If you asked me which game I thought they had a better chance of winning between Michigan State and at Illinois, it would be Michigan State.
Oh, yeah.
I think we said that Monday, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, now they're at Illinois. When is the Illinois game?
Saturday.
Okay, for some reason you guys said it was tomorrow, and I'm like, what? When I was driving in, someone said it was
No, the women's basketball game's tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought you must have got it confused because I'm like, no, the way they would. It's Saturday at 1:15 in
That's
Champaign.
right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that'll be on BTN, so everybody can watch that. For the
Yeah,
most
and hey, who knows? I mean, this is a good Illinois team. This is not the 88, 89.
No.
This is not those Kenny Battle and Kendall Gill type Illinois team by any means. But it is a good team playing at home with a lot to play for. I don't want to say this, I wouldn't say it. I'd be pleasantly surprised if Iowa won Saturday. I was pleasantly
that's a good way to
surprised.
put it.
I wasn't shocked. I'd be very surprised Saturday. I wasn't that shocked last night. I just never been a big fan of this Michigan State team.
I was shocked by 14 rebounds by Cricky. I mean, I absolutely would not have expected to see that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not having watched the game, sometimes the ball bounces your way on a 2 or 3 lucky rebound. And he does. He's had a few games. He averages, 6?
Oh, does
roughly
he?
5 or 6, somewhere around there. He's not a great rebounder, but
He's not.
I'm just more surprised that they won with their 2 starting guards combining for 9 points. But Patrick McCaffrey's become a force off the bench as a 6th man.
Patrick,
especially on offense. So, yeah, I mean, but I think last night's game said as much about Michigan State's lack of offense as anything Iowa did, and that's their problem. I mean, they're now, 9-7? They got tough games left. I mean,
they're only 1 game ahead of us.
yeah, I mean, they're 9. Well, there's 11 teams that are so bunched together.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. I mean, Iowa right now could finish anywhere from 11 to 4. Yeah, I mean, that's where it is right now. But no, I mean, I think they're going to beat Penn State. There's your 9th win right there, and
we go to Northwestern.
That's going to be hard. But they can beat Northwestern though. They're built to beat Northwestern. Northwestern's a good team, but I've also got they've got at least 6 losses, don't they, in the conference? Aren't they 9-6, something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, they're not a great team by any
nobody
means.
is,
And
except for maybe Purdue. But I don't think
I don't
they
even
are
think
either.
Purdue is. I don't think there is a great team in college basketball right now.
Well, UConn got beat last night, so yeah.
And then Danny Hurley was seen on tape walking off the court telling some fan, he goes, "I will knock you out." Some Creighton fan was riding him. That's probably not the thing you want to say as a head coach.
No.
No, it's right there. I say you can hear him say, "I will knock." He points to the guy, "I will knock you out." You know, especially for Danny Hurley's got to be close to 50 now. You got to be careful what you say. You know, and he's not the biggest guy in the world. I know he grew up in New Jersey. He's tough, I'm sure. But that's probably not the thing you want to be saying, though. It wasn't a good look. Yeah,
Perhaps not.
Creighton just mauled them, beat them convincingly. Creighton's on a roll now, man. They were struggling early, but now they're playing well again. It's incredible how well he's done there, and then how poorly he did at Iowa State.
Isn't that
just
interesting?
Bizarre. Just I've never made sense to me.
I have thought that was just fascinating, and
because he never really did good at Iowa State. Hell, the coach that they wrote out, what was it, Wayne Morgan? He did better at Iowa State than McDermott did, really. It just never worked for McDermott at Iowa State.
And then TJ goes in there,
and now they're a power.
And is terrific within 1 year.
Yeah, I mean,
what an amazing coaching job he's done.
He really has. I mean, because they were 2-22 the year before he got there, weren't they?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's done an incredible job. He's got to be up for National Coach of the Year. But no, we'll have Peyton on. I reached out to James Allen last night, and I wanted Peyton because he'll be great on the radio. But right now he's arguably their best player.
Yeah.
And I know here at KCJJ we only associate with the best, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
And we'll let Peyton know that you won this chance to be on here because you're the best.
That's right. We don't take second best
unless it's Kate Martin or somebody else, because we ain't going to get Caitlin Clark.
No. And I don't believe we've asked Peyton Who are you going
No,
to
have we? I don't think.
I don't think we've had Peyton.
I don't know if we've had. I don't think we have. So we'll ask him that.
Yep.
And do you remember who Caitlin Clark said when we asked her?
I don't.
Did she say Drake?
Well,
She might have.
Patrick and Connor did.
Both said Drake.
Yeah. She may have. But I can't
We've had
remember.
her on twice, but the first time, both of them were 2 years ago.
Yeah, I can't remember what she said.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Suter, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I listened to it on the radio.
Uh-huh.
Did Dembele look as bad as they made him sound?
He didn't play well. He had one shot.
Ill-advised?
No, he drilled one, and then he
okay.
had an air ball on another one.
He got
So
even more confident.
Lodgy likes to
It
shoot.
sounded like he missed 3 shots in a row.
He's the only guy on the
But he
team
took-
more confident than Peyton Sanford as a shooter.
Yeah, Lodgy likes to shoot. And,
He's not afraid.
he played hard.
Did he get rebounds?
A few.
I don't remember it standing. I looked at the box. Hell,
A few. It wasn't his best game. Let's put it that
you're going to
way.
have those as a freshman.
Yeah. Price had a
Yeah,
couple
but
of
you
big
kinda
moments.
You need him as much foul trouble as Freeman gets in.
Yeah, you're right.
Man,
Yeah.
if they could teach that kid to stay in the game, he'd have numbers like, he's been putting up every single game. That would just be amazing. But,
Well,
you got to think there's going to be great things for him down the line once he learns how to stay out of foul trouble.
Well, they got to play these bigs because it looks like playing small is not. Did Bowen get in last night?
Bowen did not play.
Did Harding barely played, right?
He didn't play much.
So, and that's 2 games in a row now that Bowen hasn't
I
played.
mean, Harding didn't play more than 5 or 6 minutes. I don't
So
think.
their
If
rotation,
that.
is
Is
really
tightening.
shrunk, and it's bigger. They don't have many small players in that rotation anymore
And
to spread the floor.
Bronze didn't play very much, and
Well, he's never really been in the rotation. Bowen and Harding have both been in the rotation. Bowen's no longer in the rotation, obviously.
I mean, Fran put Dembele back in with 2 fouls in the first half, which
Before-
he almost never does.
Well, he's going to do that if he's not using the other 2 guards. They basically now have Dix, Freeman, and the Sanford's kind of playing guard. That's basically, am I missing someone? If Bowen and Harding were barely playing?
No,
I looked when I saw the box. I think Harding had played 3 minutes.
that sounds about right. He didn't play much.
Yeah, so.
And the problem with Freeman last night, he was out, what was it, like 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. He got a second foul, and they
Yep.
sat him.
Yeah, he's got.
And then he gets his 4th one early in the second half, and he sits until just about the end of the game. But he did have a dunk at the end, so
He's got to start defending more vertical. He's
does.
just reaching too much forward. And it's
That's
just,
exactly right.
he's
And
just
he
gotta be-
reaches. He
he chomps
reaches
down,
down.
but he's got to be more vertical because so many of his fouls are him kind of undercutting people because he's leaning forward, and he'll get it with time.
yeah. Hey, well, you guys have a great day. Go
All right.
Hawks.
Hey, thanks for the
You
call.
too.
Yeah,
But no, that's a big win. They're 8-8. God, there's only 4 conference games left.
crazy.
Ordered the Big Ten credentials yesterday. Yeah, I mean, now with this one, they could go 3-2 down this stretch.
They might.
And Dallas
They
says
just got to go 2-2.
I mean, if they win Saturday, then I'll say they're going to. If they win Saturday, they could go at worst 4-1. But you got to just. I don't think they're going to win Saturday. But we'll see. I mean,
well, with this team,
Illinois's got a ton to play for. So does Iowa, but Illinois is at home too.
Yeah.
I think they're going to beat Illinois here. Last game of the season.
boy, I hope you're right.
Because I think Illinois will be. Well, I think Iowa will be playing to try to solidify a bid to the tournament. To go 10 and to at least maybe be 500 and have a fighter's chance going into the Big Ten tournament. Whereas Illinois will be probably playing with Purdue for the. So both teams will have a ton to play for. But I just think home court advantage senior day. Now Illinois has come in and beaten Iowa before under those
They have.
circumstances. Several times they've done that. So we'll see though. I'm just a lot more confident now after what that team did last night. I mean. That was pretty impressive.
I was not expecting it, and it was one of those games where I'm watching it where I'm thinking, I think we maybe win this 20 times out of 100.
And this might be one of those times, or 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've seen that happen in football.
Yeah.
I mean, that sometimes stuff like that happens. But I mean, they took care of business. Now they're 8-8. I think they're 16-11 now.
Yeah.
Overall,
Yeah.
I mean. They're trying for a 5th consecutive upper division finish, and they're trying for a 5th consecutive NCAA. Is it? Yeah, NCAA tournament appearance, and that's pretty nice company to be in. And I know right away, we haven't done anything. We haven't. I get it. Yes, we're not. It's like you can compliment one part without having to always. Yeah, but we haven't been. I've got a lot of. I wrote that because Fran on his Zoom thing yesterday, 2 days ago. I didn't hear it, but he had some quotes. I didn't hear it live, I should say. He was asked about, retire. He was asked about retiring because Michael Loss wrote about it a couple hours before I did. It was already up. It was old news by the time I got to it, but I still wrote about it for our site because it was interesting. Him just saying he's not having any consideration about retiring. He likes doing it, and I think that's good because there's been a lot of speculation. People wondering about much longer he's going to go. Now, he didn't say I'm going for another 5, whatever.
No.
I mean, he just said that right now he's no thoughts on retiring, and so you just take him at his word and kind of go. And the people that say that, fans have moved on, it's time to get no, that's ridiculous. That narrative is not. I mean, if this team wins, the arena's full for the most part, and my guess is if they play well against Illinois, even if they don't win, but if they play well, I think there'll be a decent crowd. The Penn State game. Do you have the schedule in front of you?
Yeah, they play Tuesday.
And what time's the Penn State game?
8:00.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
No. Well, the one thing good is the 2 road games are less than 5 hours away. Champagne's away.
Well, yeah, but there's not going to be a lot of seating available for Iowa fans because Illinois packs their arena.
And then the other road game is still Northwestern, which is not.
Well, yeah, the problem with that though is that arena is not very big, and Northwestern fans actually go and watch that team now.
Is that maybe 7,000?
Yeah, there'll be Iowa fans there though. Yeah. There'll be some, but. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting. The 8:00 does not help on a Tuesday. God.
No, not at all.
It sure doesn't because there was so much. I mean, there was a good crowd.
And that started at 7 at Michigan.
The Wisconsin game was good.
You don't see Izzo playing many 8:00 games.
No.
Yeah, and it's on Big Ten, so that's another.
Easy to stay home because everybody, hopefully they'll have at least 10 there. But that if they beat Illinois,
if we beat Illinois,
the arena will be rocking. It may not be full, but there'll be 10 to 12,000 people there.
Yes.
It'll be rocking.
So the next 3 games are on BTN, and then the last game is on FS1. So
no more Peacock.
No more Peacock.
Enough with the Peacock
for the men. I think the women have another Peacock, don't they?
Yeah, tomorrow's
Peacock owes their whole business to Caitlin Clark.
Boy, they sure picked well, didn't they?
Yeah,
man.
Well, Michigan State plays a lot of games on Peacock too. A ton of Michigan State games on Peacock. Speaking of Caitlin, I know. Were you the one that brought? I wrote that somebody said it to me, and I'm like, man, that's a great idea about building a statue in honor of Caitlin, putting it up where the Gable statue is, and moving the Gable statue down to the wrestling facility. Somebody told me that.
That wasn't me, but
okay, somebody said it to me, and I did give credit to whoever. I even said in my column, I can't really take, because somebody said it to me, because I didn't think of it on my own, I don't believe. Maybe I did. That shows you I'm getting old.
Boy, that'd be
but that's the
interesting.
call. That's what I wrote. I just think it would be the perfect situation. And if you don't want to move the Gable thing, there's room for Caitlin in that little court area. But to me, it would make more sense to have Gable right in front of the entrance to the wrestling. Mm-hmm. Put Caitlin somewhere near where Gable is, shooting a logo 3. And you don't do statues lightly. I mean, statues are the rarest of honors. I think they should be. But you'd have Niall Kinnick, Dan Gable, and Caitlin Clark with statues. I mean,
great.
I think that's what they should do. And it's done what it's generated some good feedback, some interest, a lot of traffic.
Well, Caitlin has the biggest footprint of an Iowa athlete
ever
since Kinnick. Yeah.
Well, and you can't even compare because it's just such a different world now. I mean, there were tons of people back then, I'm assuming, Tom, that didn't know who Niall Kinnick was.
True.
And I know there are people that don't know, but most people, if they're somewhat tethered to sports, know who Caitlin Clark is. You just do.
Yeah.
You just do. I mean, there's just no way you don't. So, but no, she is. I've been thinking about it. I've been going, the Chuck Longs and the Tim DeWites and the just, all the different incredible athletes that they've had. Nothing compares to this.
And they didn't have the impact on their sport that Caitlin has. Nobody has.
No, and now that's partly due to social media and the fact that her sport needs help. I mean, by the time, college basketball was in pretty good shape and was pretty popular when Ronnie Lester came along. He didn't, the sport really didn't. I mean, he helped, of course. The NBA was the problem then. I mean, but yeah, no, timing and opportunity have been perfect for Caitlin, and she seized both.
Has taken care of it in spades.
Yeah.
Yep.
She really has. So, no, and I think shooting a logo 3, that should be the statue. So every time you go to that front entrance of the arena, you're reminded of the greatest player in program history. It's, to me, it's the most fitting case for a statue that I can think of.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Oh, hi. Hey, how about putting Caitlin Clark's statue facing the baseball diamond? That'd be a little more visible.
Well, she doesn't play baseball.
Yeah, I'd want to keep it by the back. I'd want to keep it by the arena she plays in.
Oh, no, I meant on the doors to the arena facing the baseball field.
Oh, well, the problem with that, though, is you got the wrestling facility there now.
Oh, that's true. That'll block that.
Yeah.
Well, how about facing the dental college then, so it's a little more visible?
Why isn't it visible in the front entrance? Well, I guess do you consider that the front entrance where the gable is? They do, but it's.
I mean, I don't use that entrance.
I don't either.
But
I mean, I think what he's talking about is the entrance more. I see what you're talking. It would be more visible, but that's not considered the front entrance of the arena. I think that because the gable statue would have been more visible there. But no, that makes sense too. You could put, and I even say, they could put it somewhere else at a different place in the arena because I think more people do come in from the side of the dental lot and stuff. That's where I come in as opposed to the front.
Too.
So that makes sense. They could do that.
One more thought. How's this sound? Carver Clark Arena.
Well, someone also said they should name the court after. Isn't the court named after MediaCom?
Yeah, that's a spy deal.
Everyone loves Caitlin. Don't get me wrong, but doesn't money have?
Well, sure, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
MediaCom probably pays $50,000 a year
at least.
Right.
No, I think
I like naming the arena after. I mean, I think it's a lot more prestigious, and nobody's going to care if we drop the word Hawkeye. That's a given. And I know we can't drop Carver, but Carver Clark Arena's got a nice ring.
I mean, maybe down. I don't know about now. But
no, can't do it now.
Down the road, maybe.
Got to be way down the line.
But I
could see a little CC where she shot the logo 3 to set the record. I could see that.
Somebody's already mentioned that there should be some sort of.
I would like that.
Yeah, you can do something like that. Yeah. But I still think the best is just a big old statue right in front when fans come and go. And one reason they think they put the statue in the front because, like, when a lot of people, guests and stuff, come to visit, they go in that front end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They go. There's a lot of people that go in that front entrance, and I think they want that to be seen because it is sort of considered the front entrance to the arena. But like this caller said, it is sort of hidden compared to other parts of the arena. So.
And Ann and I, we always actually come in the east doors, so we're the ones closest to Yackerman's.
Maybe name the road going up there right off Riverside Drive, that stretch from there.
What's that, Hawkins Drive?
Hawkins Drive, name it Caitlin.
Who's Hawkins?
Drive.
What's it named after?
Max Hawkins, I believe.
What did he do?
Fundraiser.
How much money did he raise?
Plenty.
Okay, so that ain't going to happen.
Okay.
Thanks, caller. He's already the other road's Evashevsky Road. So,
yeah.
Like I said, I'm sticking to the statue. I think because the gable statue, there's just something powerful about a statue. To me, it's a ultimate sign of respect and admiration.
Well,
it's forever.
Dan Gable certainly earned it.
Yeah, Dan Gable earned it. And so did Niall Kinnick.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, and I like the idea of Caitlin shooting one of her logo 3.
I think that'd be great.
What they could do is take the photo of her shooting the logo 3 that set the scoring record and turn that into the statue. Mm-hmm. That's what I suggest. We'll see what Paige
I just
says.
hope it would be better than the butter cow was. That didn't look anything like Caitlin.
No, that it did not.
That was just horrible.
I didn't see it in person. Did you?
No.
Well, I haven't been to the fair in years. So.
I've been, I think, once in my life, and we went maybe 5 years ago.
Okay, I've been more than that. But
no, twice because we went to see the Chicks.
Okay, I went a couple times as a kid.
Or 2 years ago.
But yeah, it's been years.
Hello.
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to fill you in on Max Hawkins.
Okay.
He was one of Niall Kinnick's teammates on the Ironman.
Yes, he was.
That's right. Okay, You're right. Okay, thanks.
Yep.
By the way, the women have 2 road games. They're both on Peacock. Tomorrow's and the one Wednesday against Minnesota.
Yeah, and then
FS1, I think, on Sunday, and then Fox Sports for the finale.
Did I see Ohio State's ranked number 2?
Yeah. Being ranked number 2 has not been a good thing this year.
No, because there's not. I mean, those days of Connecticut, Tennessee, those days are gone. Because I still think the South Carolina team right now, it doesn't compare to those great Tennessee and Connecticut teams.
No, they can't be beaten.
Probably not.
I don't think there's so.
Probably not.
This is better for basketball.
Oh, I think so.
I think this is way better for basketball to have it.
Just like it wasn't good for men's basketball when UCLA won every year.
No, I'm barely old enough to remember that. I sort of remember that. I'm old enough to remember. Wow, there's you. And what's funny is, I don't know, funny, but Wooden retired the year before Bobby Knight had his great team. And I think Wooden, it was time, but I think Wooden also saw Indiana was coming. And I think he got out of. I'm not saying he left scared or anything, but I think he left at the right time because UCLA was not going to win the national title the next year. That Indiana team, that 75-70, that team was
great.
It was unbeatable.
Well, they were unbeatable.
Yeah,
unbeaten.
And the Wooden team that won in 74-75, that was not a great team. That was maybe his greatest coaching job. It was a good team, but it wasn't a great team. I was sort of surprised that they won.
Well, I thought our team in 69-70 could have beaten UCLA.
And yet couldn't get out of the first round.
Couldn't get past the 2 7-footers. We didn't have an answer to
Who
that.
made it to the championship, didn't they? Or no, did they not?
Who?
Did Jacksonville make it to the championship game that year?
Good question.
I thought they did. I know UCLA, of course, won.
I think maybe they did, but I'm not positive about that.
But I just remember all the publicity, David Thompson and North Carolina State. Remember the big guy, Tom Burleson, little Monty Towell, the point guard? They got all the publicity because they were the first team in a decade to win the national. Remember, they won.
Yes.
It was so bizarre not seeing UCLA winning a national title as a little kid. And that's kind of how it got to be with Connecticut and Tennessee during the 80s and the 90s. It just got to be. It just wasn't good for the game. Now the game's in much better shape, I think, with more parity.
No, I mean, they got all the good players. All the 5-star players just went automatically.
I mean,
to
Connecticut's
UConn
still
and
good,
Tennessee.
don't get me wrong, but they're not great by any means.
No, they're not.
And
They've got 5 or 6 losses.
And they're like ranked 15th. Tennessee's almost closer to average now than being very good. So it's kind of going through a change here. So, and of course, the challenge for Lisa is going to be able to sustain. Can she sustain this? I mean, she's been able to sustain this now for 6 years with 2 generational players.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but in her defense, you could say, well, she helped. Caitlin's a little harder to explain, but they turned Megan Gustafson into a generational player.
They did.
She was not that when she came here, whereas Caitlin was.
No, and they made Monica Sonano a much better player
They did.
over the year.
Yeah. Yep.
And they've got other players on the team that they can do that to as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, the current post players have not developed the way Monica did.
No,
they have.
And
not.
they have a freshman coming in next year, but she is going to be a freshman. She's going to need some time to adjust. So it's going to be a challenge for Lisa next year.
6'4".
But coaches relish challenges like that. It'll be interesting because there won't be near as much expectations for Iowa women's basketball next year.
No, and
assuming Caitlin doesn't come back.
And I've watched a fair amount of video on Tegan Malini, and she reminds me a lot of a better, slightly more athletic McKenna Warnock.
McKenna Warnock
which was really good.
Yeah, McKenna Warnock was good. I mean,
Yes, she was.
She made big threes. She got rebounds. She did a lot of different stuff.
Hello.
Is this 1630?
It is.
We think.
Clark Gable Arena. Come on.
Thank you.
Good one.
Goodbye to the Carver family. Hey, thanks for. Just don't even mention
That
the
was
Carver.
solid.
Yes.
I'm not sure how the getting rid of the Carver name would go over, though. Do you think that would go over?
Probably
well?
not.
I don't think they can. I think that's locked in perpetuity, as they say.
As it probably
as the kids say.
Yes.
Didn't the Carvers
kids.
donate a lot of money?
Yeah, I think wasn't it like $25 million or something like that?
Man, just
Well, they donated that for the building of the arena because I think the arena only cost $20 million to build.
Well, they put out most of it.
Wow. Okay. How did the Carver family make its money?
Bandag.
That's right. Okay. Okay.
hello.
A couple things. I'll jump on the wagon with the renaming, but CC Arena. There you go.
CC
Not
Arena.
Caitlin Clark, Carver Clark, so CC. And then the Carvers, I had a person I worked with, and they would fly private to Chicago for flying trips or for shopping trips and stuff with one of the Carvers' granddaughters. So I always got to hear those stories.
Yeah. Well, they had some
they
cash.
Go in the morning and shop Michigan and then Michigan Ave or whatever and fly home and back to work the next day.
Well, nice work if you can get it.
Rough.
Yeah.
All right. See you, bye.
Probably went to that American Girl doll store, which is one of my biggest nightmares with the kids growing up.
Oh, thank God they didn't have those when my kids were growing up.
Jesus, God, that was
It
brutal.
was bad enough with the Beanie Babies and the Cabbage Patch Kids that everybody was fighting for that are worth absolutely nothing now.
Well, the Toronto Raptors are signing guard DJ Carton to a 10-day contract out of the NBA G League's Iowa Wolves. Carton is averaging 18.6 points and 5.7 assists for Iowa this season. I often wonder what would have happened to him had he gone to Iowa.
I know.
I remember interviewing him a couple times. Good kid. It just did not work out for him at Ohio State or
No.
really at Marquette either.
Not really.
But he's still hanging on in the G League. Good luck to him.
Yeah, I was sure that was a rough kid to lose because I thought we had a shot at him.
Hello.
Hey, any of you guys watch that? And I normally never do, but I watched the entire Iowa State basketball game the other night.
Oh, against Houston? I did not. I did not.
Yeah, I wanted to see Houston play, and well, anyways, if you had, it was just literally a track meet the entire game. I mean, these guys are just so athletic, and some of that athleticism when you're like really athletic, you know, like Perkins struggled for a while and still does sometimes, but the out of controlness ish, you know, so you know you're overrunning you're over pursuing. I guess that'd be football, but almost over pursuing, getting yourself into a spot. But no, I was just watching them jump and fly up and down the court. I'm like, God dang, this is. But I think it was like really low scoring.
It was
for the first 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, neither team is great shooters, but yeah, they're very athletic.
Yeah, they were.
Yep.
That's all. I'm pretty black and white today, so that's it.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Now, they had that women's basketball recruit from Alaska here.
Yeah.
I heard she's been recruited by 26 schools.
Layla Hayes has 26 offers.
Yeah. So what are the odds of her?
I couldn't be.
Her aunt played here.
That's true, and played with Lisa, right?
Lisa was her coach.
Yeah.
What was her aunt's name?
Leah Magner.
Oh, I remember Leah Magner.
Yeah. And so that didn't hurt, and to be here on the night Caitlin Clark set the record, it ain't going to hurt any.
Did she commit?
No.
What is she like Connecticut? Oh, does she have everybody or?
She doesn't have. I don't think
like
she
the top
has.
ones.
No. She's as of right now. She's kind of blown up, but she's the number 97 ranked recruit.
Oh, so I mean, it'd be great.
Yeah,
it'd be nice to get her, but they've got girls coming in the class that are higher than that.
All of them, except for the gal from Solon. Kelly,
she's not
Levine.
a top 100, but she's still pretty highly.
She's close.
Yeah, and so they're pretty consistently getting top 100 players now.
Yeah, they are.
Well, she said the thing that impressed her about the visit was the atmosphere of family. She thought that was really.
Well,
that was
the
a
culture
plus.
that
Yes.
Lisa.
Yeah, I didn't see who interviewed her. I mean,
it was just on Twitter somewhere. I can't remember.
Oh, okay, yeah, because we didn't do it.
Hello.
Okay, last thing. And it's the whole, I don't know if it's necessarily fair weather fan stuff, but just, I don't know, fans that don't have the intelligence they should to make certain comments. But stuff like, okay, so fine, 97th ranked. Great, I get it, blah, blah, blah. But here's the deal. They could be, that 97th could be number 4 for us, you know. It's the position that we would need and want. I mean, if it's the number 1 overall coming out of high school, and we have 2 deep and just 2 studs in that position, would we want that number 1 overall?
Yes.
You bet.
Yes, they would.
Okay.
You always want the best players that you can get.
Yeah.
Always.
So say, for example, say if you're stacked and, you know, nobody in the top 10 is, you know, could really, would they come in and take over your stacked player? I mean, is that the idea?
I don't know. Are you saying this under the? Nobody's knocking her for being the 97th best recruit.
I didn't say that at all. I didn't even.
I'm just confused at what you're.
We're just not quite sure where you're headed.
Going, where you're headed.
I started it off with fair weather fans making ignorant comments, and my point is.
Who made the ignorant
what ignorant
comment?
comments?
Nobody made a comment from you guys.
We're not saying that. Okay, we're not saying. Okay,
we're confused. Is all.
Okay.
We're just confused.
And it's not the first time.
All right. Well, then that's fine. Have a good day.
Hey, yeah, you too.
Should we take a break on that one?
Well, we sure can.
Or did we want to go closer towards 10? And
What do you think, Jim?
We can take a break.
we're calling Peyton. He's not calling us. Lots of times we'll call him, but they prefer to have us call him.
Let's go ahead and take our break, and then we'll call Peyton right at 10.
Well, yeah, right at 10.
All right.
Your life is always changing, and a lot of things can affect how and what you save. So a good retirement plan changes with your life. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. So start a conversation today. Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far. For information locally, call 338-3799 or 866-217-2369, or stop by 501 12th Avenue, Suite 201, Coralville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
The Oxyokin Sunday Brunch, offering so many choices of fresh entrees and carved meats, homemade salads, waffles, omelets made to order, pastries, 3 tiers of dessert, and so much more. Such a great value. Now serving on Sundays, the brunch buffet only 9 until 2. See you this Sunday.
The Oxyokin.
Oxyokin, where you'll always leave happy.
There's a problem here in eastern Iowa. There's not enough Hawkeye fans. I mean, really, shouldn't everybody be a Hawkeye fan? Well, maybe not, but you should be a fan of my team at Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson, and my team of experts at Hawkeye Title and Settlement know what they're doing. Call us at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Car won't go into gear? Call Premier. Premier Automotive in North Liberty offers full-service mechanical auto repair, in addition to being Eastern Iowa's most trusted name in auto body repair. Use Premier for all your auto repair needs: brakes, oil changes, air conditioning, diagnostics, transmissions, or preventative maintenance. Whether you hit a deer or your car won't go into gear, see Premier Automotive in North Liberty.
1-800-800-ROSE.
1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country.
1-800-800-ROSE.
It's so easy. Just remember one number, 1-800-800-ROSE, your FTD florist.
1-800-800-ROSE.
Remember,
what makes a tavern pizza in Middle Amana so delicious? It's homemade pizza made with fresh ingredients daily. 13 classic or thin crust pizza pies featuring chicken bacon ranch, meat lovers, barbecue Hawaiian chicken, taco, veggie, and the BLT pizza. Tavern also features an assortment of appetizers, salads and burgers, chicken tenders, and tenderloin baskets served with a side of fries. Dine in or carry out. Check out their Facebook page for more menu items, beverage options, and daily specials. Tavern, 2522 220th Trail in Middle Amana.
Check out the best source for your Iowa City area high school sports coverage. Go to yourprepsports.com. Hi, this is Pat Harty. City High, West High, Liberty High, Regina, West Branch, Solon, Clear Creek, Amana. Your Prep Sports has all the boys and girls high school sports you crave. You'll get free, in-depth reporting from dedicated sports journalists on your favorite teams: football, basketball, golf, volleyball, track, softball, and baseball seasons. Profiles, pictures, video, and more. Get in on the action. Go to yourprepsports.com today and spread the word.
Back to Hawk Fanatic on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. As we mentioned earlier, we have Peyton Sanford coming on at 10 o'clock. But first, we've got Adam Haleska.
Well, good morning, Adam. How are you doing?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Great, Adam. Hey, thanks for. I mean, I guess I should have. Sometimes I don't want to overdo it with you because I know you're busy, but I appreciate you agreeing to come on. This will be great. Go from Adam to Peyton.
And this is perfect after a huge win last night. And did you get a chance to watch the game?
Yeah, I did. I had to tape it a little bit, though. I was out and about. We had kid stuff going on, and so I was trying to get away from my phone and not listen to anybody and hear anything. You want to watch it fresh without, knowing what the score is. And no, it was a great win. And anytime you can go to the Breslin Center, I've always said, just from my playing days, I'd put up Illinois and then I'd put the Breslin Center with Michigan State as probably some of the two toughest places we played at. And anytime you can go get a win up there, I always feel like at tip-off you're down about 8 to 10 points just to start the game. We're gritty, and that's a fantastic win. They had to feel really good coming back last night.
Well, the other thing too is Iowa, even when games they win and have success, there's so many ebbs and flows. This seemed pretty consistent, though. I mean, they led in the first half. I mean, they had some moments, but
we pretty much.
But yeah, you know what I mean, Adam. They just seemed like
Yeah.
they controlled this game for most of the way.
Well, and I kind of wrote a couple things down. I mean, when you go on the road in the Big Ten, you can't turn the ball over, right? Doesn't matter who you're playing. So we had 6 turnovers, 17 assists.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You start off by going up there, and especially an Izzo team that usually it doesn't matter how there's years where they're top 10. There's years. I mean, they're going to be physical and they're going to give you a tough game every time you come up there. So we didn't turn the ball over. The other thing, those teams usually rebound really well, and we won the rebounding, 35 to 34, and then you make your free throws, 18 to 23. Just looking at those stats right there, not turning the ball over, making your free throws, and just winning the boards, you're going to put yourself in a chance to win every time.
And MSU missed half their free throws,
Yeah.
and I think 8 or 9 literally layups.
They're just not. You'll like this. I saw something funny. Someone was commenting on the heavy minutes that guys like Peyton Sanford, what they ended up playing, because let's face it, Adam, that rotation's shrinking. And somebody else responded by saying, "Yeah, they still spent less time on the court than Izzo." I thought you'd find that kind of funny, but
he gets away with it. He's earned the stripes to do that.
Yeah, he does get away with it. Now, we're gonna have Peyton on here after you, and he was huge. I mean, I know he takes some bad shots sometimes, Adam, but that they would be really hurting offensively without him, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's kind of the glue guy, and you throw in what Patrick did last night.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Kricky's had a couple games where he hasn't really, from a scoring standpoint, been as a huge contributor. But man, 18 and 14 last night with 10 defensive rebounds was big time. And if you can get a couple of those guys to step up, we always know Perkins is solid, and but kind of going back to that lineup. Peyton was huge, but I do like the fact that he's shrinking this lineup a little bit. I think it's giving guys a little more ebb and flow of knowing their role and knowing the situation, and we're playing a good ball right now.
My concern, if I have one, of course you have concerns, but like I said, the guard court has really shrunk.
Yeah.
I mean, if Harding and Bowen hasn't played in 2 games in a row now. Harding barely played. They don't have a lot of depth that they're relying on right now. Am I looking in too deep, Adam, or are you concerned at all about that? They don't.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be a concern, but I think he seems to be going with. Again, look at like Josh Dix. I mean, he can run a little bit of a point guard. Same with Perkins. I think if you get into some situations, you can count on Harding coming in and giving you some good quality minutes and distributing the ball and just trying to play heads up basketball. We've got guys that can play in different spots if there is foul trouble, which I think it gives us a little flexibility. But yeah, I mean, for some of those guys, I mean, those minutes they're definitely shrinking. But I think he's seeing this team's really starting to play well right now, and you got to give those heavy minutes to guys like Peyton was 38, Cricky was 38, Perkins was 37. I mean, those are some major minutes logged.
Izzo with 39, I think is what. And in fair, DeSante Bowen, it's been interesting. He started the season as their starting point guard.
Yep.
And played okay early. He just kind of hit a wall offensively, and I think right now he doesn't seem to be playing with any confidence on offense, and I think the coaches see that, don't they?
Yeah, and we've talked about it too, not only in games. I mean, they're seeing these guys every single day.
Yes.
So something's going on behind the curtain where, hey, maybe he's just not hitting shots. He's just not in the rhythm they want to see. So you've got to go with your hot hands and who's playing well. And, some of those guys are earning more minutes. And I got to think a lot of that we don't see off the court is kind of taking place.
Well, Price Sanford had a couple of big moments last night, too. He had one block that was critical.
Yeah, he is 6'6".
Yeah, and he had a nice 3, and he's starting to play some good minutes, too. It's good to see.
That and Adam,
I think it's confidence, too. When you're a freshman and a lot of this is young, I mean, some of those guys come in right away, and he was a prolific scorer in high school. Could do it all, right? Could get to the basket, dunk on guys, shoot threes, step backs. I mean, he's got a full tool bag of what he can do. But I think it just takes a little bit of time to iron things out to figure out, how do you fit in with this group and how do you come in and get some of these minutes? And he seems more and more comfortable every week we see him.
How big is this Patrick McCaffrey emergence as a sixth man? To me, it seems like it gives them a whole new dimension.
I think it does. I mean, he's a great player and has started many, many games for us and has been
60, I believe,
a staple in this program. So, yeah, I mean, with his experience, we need a guy like that to come in off the bench and have that spark, that energy. He can defensively mix things up on a little bit of the press, whether it be full court or three-quarter court. I like what he brings, and if he's bringing some scoring with it, and that's just an added bonus.
And as far as Owen Freeman, we were talking earlier, someone asked about his foul trouble. Yeah, that's an issue, and I agree with Tom. He's not being picked on by the officials. Adam, how tough is it? I mean, you've watched him play. Part of his problem is when he's defending in the post, he's not vertical. He leans too far forward. I mean, that's
he likes
just
those blocks. He likes to, he's wanting to get a tip on the ball or make a contest on it. You're right.
And how difficult is the process of teaching somebody that? I mean, he is still just a freshman. At some point, though, he'll get it. You think at some point? Because it seems like so many of his fouls are unnecessary.
It does.
Yeah. It does. Well, and I think, too, it goes back to watching film.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things where I'm sure they're going to dive back into this. You don't want to spend too much time on it because you got to, some games coming up. But you got to look at those situations and be like, all right, hey, you may think you're vertical. Right? A lot of guys are going to be like, what did I do? Look at your positioning. Let's work on getting that fixed. And, the other thing, being a freshman, you got these teams in the Big Ten, and we're seeing teams like Michigan State. You're going to see teams for the second time over like we have. I'm telling you, when you look at these scouting reports, these guys are nitpicking everything, and they know if there's an opportunity to get the ball in, what do you got to do to get him in foul trouble? Because he's been a big part of what we've done this second half of the year.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Teams want to see him on the bench, so it's kind of that counterbalance, right? Other teams are scouting him out, knowing how to get him in foul trouble. He's got to figure out, all right, now how do I adjust and make this look a lot better? Maybe not going for the block every time or leaning forward. You got to be vertical and you got to hold your spot.
The Illinois fans, they know that Owen Freeman's from Illinois. They're going to be ready for these guys on Saturday. What are the keys? Of course, you can't get off to a slow start, but turnovers are going to be big, aren't they? Because Illinois is going to try to rattle them.
Yeah, they're going to try to get it up and down, and that's a good ball club, and it's a tough place to play.
It is.
But again, I think coming off of this win, you have a nice little high in confidence. If we can get some guys to knock down shots, and obviously Peyton's going to come on and talk about what this upcoming game means. But if we seem to play those guys pretty tough, and there's a built-in rivalry there, and it doesn't matter what coach or what what's going on in the program, that is going to be a battle, and look for those guys to come out and. Hopefully we come out swinging.
You know who I'm worried about? Of course, about Shannon. He's great, and Coleman Hawkins is good. They got this guard named Justin Harmon. You know who I'm talking about, Adam?
He's tough.
He's tough. He can make shots. He just seems like he's the Iowa killer, that type of player. I've seen him make open threes and whatever. That I worry about them working so much to stop the other guys that he's going to be wide open. And this team does a good job of sharing the ball. I mean, it's going to be a big challenge, but I mean.
Yeah. I think we're versatile enough too. If things aren't going well, I mean, he may mix the defenses up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You might see some stuff that we try to throw at these guys just to slow them down or get them out of sync. And again, that 3-point shot seems to be a killer sometimes for us. Some of these teams can light it up. We've got to make sure our perimeter D is solid. But then, to your point, they've got a lot of threats on there. But if we can limit a couple of those guys and get a bad shooting night. You never know what can happen, especially on the road.
They got the transfer from, I think, Southern. His last name is Damask, and every time they say it, I think of dumbass. Every time I watch him on TV, they say it, and it just comes to my. Because I knew some people that were referred. That was a common phrase. He's a good player. I've seen him. I mean, he can score.
They got a good team. It's going to be a rough game for us, and we got to play them twice in the next.
I know that's the crazy thing. I looked at the schedule, and
that is
for
weird.
Fans that are listening, I mean, it's really bang bang. You're going to play them coming up here, and then you play them in another few days, and then you're getting into kind of tournament time. But yeah, that's one of those. It's 2 quick games against teams where it's going to be easy on the scouting report. You're going to know them, but I'm just not a fan of playing teams that close together.
No, and the other thing is if we happen to go 3-1 the rest of the way, we'll play Illinois again in the Big Ten tournament because we'll be the number 2 seed probably.
And what would Iowa be?
We'd be 7.
We'd be 7.
Yeah. So
comment on that, Adam. What's your thoughts?
Three times.
What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, especially this late in the year. It's one thing if you play them early, right? Start of the Big Ten season or first or second week of January. But it is odd that you could play a team, really on the 24th, the 10th, and then possibly the very next game could be Illinois in the tournament. That's just
bizarre.
It is bizarre. But I definitely think, if we got 3 games there, I hate to say it, but want to win all of them. We go 3-1. That's a fantastic year we're putting together. And then you use that momentum to get a couple games in the tournament, and you just never know what can happen.
Yeah. They'd be in. They've already. We were talking about going 4-1. They've already won one of the hard ones. So if you go 3-1, of course you're going 4-1. That might be enough right there.
It might be.
That would be what 4, 5 quad 1 wins.
Yeah, the last 2 have been quad 1, which have been huge. We've needed those in our back pocket.
And so Illinois, they have a chance for 3 more quad 1 wins, right? Is Northwestern? That's quad 1. It's on the road.
Yep.
So no, they've got a lot still to play for, and you can agonize over the games that should have been, could have been, but you just got to maybe the way Fran would say, it's a long grind. Maybe those games helped us get to this point in some ways, and we reacted better. You just don't know, but so if you're Illinois, what do you think they're going to try to do with Owen Freeman? Coleman Hawkins is a good player, but he's also highly emotional. He tries to get under the skin of opponents. What do you think their plan of attack for Freeman is?
I think they'll try to go after him. You can see if you can get him in foul trouble, with 2 fouls, our guys are going to sit for the most part.
That's a good point.
I think you got to go after him. He's a freshman. Anytime you got a freshman on the floor, you're trying to exploit stuff and put them in difficult situations. But, if we can get guys to shoot it and guys stay hot, you got a guy like, Patrick coming off the bench, and he can provide some valuable minutes. It's a total team effort. And I don't know. It's funny because, like you said, it's a grind. It's a marathon. I think there's times throughout the year you're like, oh, man, what's going to happen? Hopefully we're over 500 by the end of the year. And now you're looking at this team's putting it together at the right time.
Exactly.
We're going the opposite direction.
Yes. Have you seen Illinois play a lot? Are you aware of how fast Terrence Shannon gets up and down the court, especially with the ball in his hands?
They're good. I've watched them a number of times, and they're a fun team. And again, the crowd is going to be into it. They're not going to have a half full, arena. It's jam packed. They've got the Orange Crush. They've got everybody there. It'll be a cool environment.
Are they a mean crowd at Illinois? Is that how you describe them?
Well, I told you, we talked about this. They're right there on the floor.
Yes.
I love it. As a guy coming in and playing, that's the atmosphere you want to play in when you're playing big-time basketball and you're playing in the Big Ten. And they're chippy and they're involved and they got knowledgeable fans. So
they do their research. Obviously, I think Owen Freeman's going to really be at the heart of their wrath.
Oh, I would think so.
Because he's an Illinois kid.
He is, but I'm telling you, I kind of, being that it's right on the border, I kind of always thought those guys were kind of Iowa guys. Maybe I'm being selfish, but yeah, I think they know that they're Illinois guys. They won a state title. They, both went to Iowa. There's going to be some chippiness there, but again, I've always kind of felt like they're ours, from the time they committed. So
yeah, that's a good point. So I look forward to it. It's a 1:15 great starting time on a Saturday. That's college basketball. 1:15 on a Saturday, right?
Perfect.
Yes.
Yep. I think it's prime time and. A good way to get the weekend started.
So when you played, Adam, did you have a favorite time and favorite day of the week that you like playing? Was it Saturday at 1, or did you have it? Was there anything?
Yeah, no, it was. I love the Saturday at 11 or 1 o'clock game. Those were perfect.
Okay, I agree because that's what we grew up with.
Yep. Yeah, and same thing with Wednesdays, right? Like it was so much easier on our schedule, and I've talked about it before. I feel bad for these guys from a class standpoint and travel, and it was Wednesday, Saturday. You can occasionally get a CBS Sunday game, but it was consistent. So you knew you had Sunday off and you knew how you could get a lot of your stuff caught up on or if you needed treatment. These guys can play any given day of the week. Yeah. But Saturday, get up, get it done, come home, have dinner that night, and usually Sunday off. But, that's the best time, I would say.
They'll be home by 7, 8. They'll be home by 7 o'clock Saturday night.
Adam, I had a question for you. You said that you recorded the game. How do you record on Peacock? I don't know how to do that.
Well, yeah, you're right. So I kind of I missed a little bit of it, but you can't record or reverse on Peacock. You're right. But I came a little bit late. We had a track thing for my daughter, and I ended up having to catch up and had somebody fill me in. So
well, you got to take care of your kids.
Why can't you record on stream? I
don't know why. Peacock's different. Like YouTube and all that, you can record and go back and watch. Peacock, you can't even rewind it.
I mean, you can't do that. Actually, I've had a bunch of people say they can't rewind it or they can't pause. I can.
No. On Peacock, you can't. You must have the premium subscription.
I do.
You pay a little extra.
I paid like $3 extra a month, and it's worth it.
Okay.
All right, well, good. Adam, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully the next time we talk, we'll have a couple more wins under our belts, and we can all be...
Yeah, we'll do this again next week, Adam. I'll reach out to you, and you just pick a day that works best for you.
Hey, sounds great, guys. Well, he gets Peyton, and go Hawks, and let's get a win this weekend.
Okay, thanks.
Go Hawks.
You got Peyton on?
All right, yes, we do.
Peyton, how you doing? This is
Hold
Pat
on
Harty.
just a second. Let me pull him up. All right, here we go.
Hey, Peyton, how are you? This is Pat Harty.
Hey, Pat.
And Tom
Suter, and we got Jim Hunter here with KCJJ. First of all, congratulations, man. I mean, I know you made Tom's night last night.
Oh, man, that was great.
What a great win. Adam Haluska went over some of the keys. Only 6 turnovers. You won the rebounding battle. Just talk about the total team effort to win that game.
Yeah, Coach Gatens had the scout, and, I thought he did a really good job. The two things that they do that kind of propel them to wins are, they score off of your turnovers, which we did a great job. Only had 6, and I think we maybe only had 1 or 2 live ball turnovers, a couple shot clock violations. But the other key was stopping Malik Hall, and, he ended up having a good game, but for a while we kind of kept him quiet.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we kind of extended the lead. So great job by the staff getting us ready for that. But it was a total team effort. Owen only plays 8 minutes. I mean, he was awesome in the 8 minutes, but we had to get a lot of minutes from a lot of different guys. And Brock came in with another spark, and Price came in and played really well. And I'm just really proud of Ben Cricky as well, the effort that he put in on the glass. And Josh Dix was phenomenal on Tyson Walker. He really only scored when we were in the zone, and he got an open look. So. It took everybody to go into the Breslin Center and get a win, but, I'm proud of us.
And Michigan State knocked down 10 threes, and you guys were still able to prevail. It was a great defensive effort by you guys last night.
Yeah, we were really connected. There was a few breakdowns late in the game, but, when we really needed to stop, when they got it down to 5 and to 7, we really dug in. And, what really got us the lead and gave us control of the game was our defense, especially at the end of that first half. Price came in, had a huge block on Tyson Walker, which kind of took him out of it and took his rhythm away. And, we defended the paint really well, and they were trying to back us down, but, missed a bunch of bunnies. And, the biggest thing for us is, we get a lot of stops, but can we get that rebound? And can we start the break? And, Ben was flying in there getting rebounds, and everybody was, checking their guy out. So, that's always a key for us. And the way that we did it yesterday was what led to the victory.
What was really impressive, too, and we talked about this earlier, lots of times you guys have some ebbs and flows, some runs, spurts that go forward. This was pretty consistent. I mean, you said, they cut it to 5 and 7, but you guys sustained a level of performance throughout this whole game. That can't be easy doing that in a place like the Breslin Center.
No, I mean, it would get really loud when they were on their runs, and, because we just kind of had to limit them. You go on the road, you kind of expect that the home team's going to go on some runs and make some plays, but it's just, can you weather that storm? And that's somewhere where we've had to improve, because the last 3 or 4 road games we've had leads coming down the stretch, and we just haven't been able to stop their run. If you can kind of limit it to 4-0 or 6-0, which is what Michigan State got there in the last 4 minutes, if you can limit that and, say, we're going to go get a bucket, we're going to get a stop, that's where, you kind of take control back of the game, you quiet the crowd, and eventually you see people start falling out of the seats, which is always a good feeling.
One of the most impressive things to me about Coach McCaffrey is, he's got this persona on the court, sometimes he loses it, but just the grind itself, he's so steady. Like when the media, they're 3 games below 500, we start panicking. He never does. I mean, can you talk about how important that is? It just seems like everything with you guys is all that matters is what's up next. Just stay the course. How big is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. You're playing in the Big Ten, and it's not like, they talk about the old Big Ten sometimes, how, you could go on the road and beat some of these teams. You'd play some of these teams at home. You kind of knew you were going to get a win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really not that way anymore. Every team, top to bottom, is so good that you really have to grind, and you can beat anybody, you can lose anybody. So that's why, you know, you can't really ever get your back against the wall, and I think that's what he does a great job of. You know, we're 0-3, we're 5-7, 6-8, and you know we have a what looks like a daunting schedule coming up. But you know he never panicked. We show up to work, we do the same thing, and you know you just trust the process that you know you can keep believing. And obviously there's going to be wins ahead, and you know every Big Ten win that you get is special, and especially the way we've played the last couple of games. You know we've had so many times you know where this team could have quit. We've been down big in must-win games that we come back and win, and you know, starting 0-3 and being 6-8, you kind of have to have that mentality, or you know, it's hard to stay in the fight. But you know, we've done a great job of just kind of staying with it and you know not giving up, because we're putting ourselves back in position now.
Yeah. Well, the last two games against Wisconsin and Michigan State, you know, those are two pretty good basketball teams. So what do you think has been the difference that has enabled this team to close out those last two games, whereas, you know, against Maryland a couple times and against Penn State, you weren't able to close it out? What's the difference?
You know, I think we're getting so many, you know, contributions from guys off the bench that maybe we weren't getting earlier in the year. I would say, you know, Wisconsin game, Brock comes in, gives us a huge spark. Minnesota, Patrick comes in, essentially wins the game for us. Last night he was great. You know, Price is really stepping into his own and making some huge plays, and Lodgy comes in and gives us big minutes. You know, earlier in the year, felt like we would go to the bench and you didn't really know what you were going to get. Mm-hmm. You know, these guys were in a bit of a tough spot, a learning spot, but you know, putting them in those positions earlier in the year has really given them, you know, the chance to know what to do now. And you know, now they're coming in and they're playing great, and they're extending leads, and they're, you know, giving us rest. They're doing really good things, and you know, if we can get that and give me and Tony and Ben some rest, you know, that's huge. And you know, I give a lot of credit to those guys for staying with it, you know, because there's obviously days when it would have been easy to just kind of shut down and not stay ready, but those guys are all staying ready. They're coming in really ready to play, and you know, I'm really proud of those guys. And you know, Patrick takes on the new role, and he's been phenomenal the last few games off the bench.
Are you starting to see teams defend you differently now? Because obviously you're one of the go-to guys. When you guys play, I expect you to get anywhere from 15 to 25 points a game. Are you seeing anything differently, and what do you expect from Illinois on the court and off the court Saturday? Because you know, that's a tough place to play.
Oh, it is. You know, teams have been, you know, very physical with me. They're kind of denying me trying to come off a screen. So, you know, last night I saw a lot of back cut opportunities, and they're being so physical that you have to find a way to get them off you. With, you know, whether that's hand fighting or just setting up cuts better. And you know, that's something that I've worked on this year and in the past years. And I think, you know, that's been a big key for me, because these teams are being super physical. They're making it really tough for me to get my three ball. And, you know, I've scored a decent amount of points the last 4 or 5 games and haven't made a ton of threes, which, you know, I'm really proud of myself for that, because in past years, if I would have hit 2 threes, I would have had 6 points. But, you know, now I'm able to get to the rim, get to the free throw line, and, you know, still impact winning. And then, you know, going to Illinois Saturday, obviously they're playing about as well as anybody in the country right now. They've got really good guards and wings, and you know, they don't really have any small guys or tall guys. They're kind of all wings, it seems like, which makes them very dangerous. They can shoot it really well, and obviously playing against them, they have very physical defenders. So we're going to be ready. I think Michigan State was good prep for me personally, just because, you know, they were so physical, and Illinois is going to be the same way. So, you know, we'll be ready to go. I think, you know, we're excited for the opportunity and to just keep it rolling.
So how about the crowd there? Are they a factor? They ride you guys pretty good
at Illinois?
Yeah.
Yeah, we my freshman year was the last time we went there. It was I think it was the last game of the regular season when they clinched the Big Ten, and you know, it was about as good as any environment in the country that I've been to besides Purdue. But I mean, they're very loud, and obviously kind of with what happened last year with the whole student section thing they had going on.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be ready to see us again.
So do you guys notice, I mean, because like I've written, and I know Beth has talked about moving the student section closer. Do you guys notice that? I mean, do you notice like at opposing arenas when they're that close? Does it make a difference?
I mean, it definitely does make a difference. You know, it's kind of a different thing. You go over to Michigan State, and they're all kind of in that lower bowl, and you know, they're all saying things throughout the whole game. And being of age now, it doesn't really bother me. But you know, when I was a freshman and we're going to places where there's people right behind the bench, I mean, you're hearing them say things about, you know, yourself and your family, and you're just like, man, how am I supposed to play now? And you know, I think it is really a big deal, and it has a huge impact on the game. And you know, I know Beth is looking at it and trying to, you know, figure out the whole thing. But I would say it definitely does have an impact on the game.
Wouldn't you like to see the students closer to the court? I don't want to put you on the spot, but we're all for that. I think it would make the students feel like they're more involved with the game.
I agree. I think, you know, it's not really an incentive for the students to come to the game when they have to sit in the top corner of the arena, and you can't really see anything, and you don't really have an impact. But I think, if possible, I think it'd be a really cool thing to get them down lower, and I think that would really get more people to the games too.
And we need,
you know, even Michigan, we go on the road to Michigan, and I mean, they're struggling, but all their students are still there because, you know, they get to go watch a Big Ten basketball game from basically courtside.
Yeah, and they hop up and down. They can go back and watch the replay and see themselves on
Exactly.
TV. They need to have the students right behind the visiting bench so the Iowa students can say mean things to the opponent. Isn't that the way it
Yes,
is?
exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
So
hopefully,
Beth, you guys come in and get treated like, you know, with the Iowa Nice. They're not intimidated at all. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was. I would like them to do that. Okay, so you're 8-8. You got 3 more chances for quad 1 wins, but of course you can't overlook Penn State either. I mean, they beat you guys. I mean, I'm guarantee you with Fran, all that he's talking about right now is Saturday at Illinois. He's not a big picture guy during the grind, is he?
No, and you know, that's kind of the approach you have to have. Going back to after we lost to Maryland, you know, you look at the next 3 games. Kind of big picture. You look at Wisconsin, you see at Michigan State and then at Illinois, and you're thinking, like, that's a tough stretch. But if you look at it, you know, we just got to beat Wisconsin, and then you do that. Now we just got to beat Michigan State. You know, if you take it one game at a time, it's a lot less daunting. And I think the staff and our players have done a really good job of just really taking it one game at a time, not thinking about, you know, the tournament or how our resume looks, kind of stuff like that. And, you know, I think that's key to securing these big wins. And, you know, that's a huge step that we've taken, and, you know, just focus on Saturday, try to win Saturday.
I know you love winning at home in front of the fans, but isn't there something special about silencing a home arena on the road? And I mean, you've
watching people leave,
Just how satisfying is that?
It's awesome. You know, I would take winning on the road over winning at home anytime.
I can see that.
I mean, winning at home is awesome. It is, and you know, there's a lot of people that are celebrating with you, but winning on the road and seeing everyone just grumpy and leaving, and you know, you get to fly home, everyone's happy. I think that's one of the best feelings you can have in our sport.
You're in your third. Are you familiar with all the rims around the Big Ten? I always make a big deal out of rims. Make a difference. Are there some arenas that's tight rimmed, or am I reading too much? Do you think about the rims when you go to different arenas?
You know, I really try not to. I think sometimes I do. I would say Michigan State has about the tightest rims I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, I had a couple jump shots yesterday that, you know, seemed like they were all the way in, and they just no give. You know, I really try not to think about it a ton, but obviously there's some things. I think the craziest thing I've seen is one of the Penn State hoops last year was like 4. It seemed like 4 maybe centimeters or inches to the right. We're like trying to figure out how that's even going on.
Wow. Really interesting.
You just have to play with it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I know as a shooter you don't want to think about little things like that, but do you think about like the backdrops of arenas? Like, I mean, because I've heard like Adam Haluskis, I used to love to shoot at that arena. Do the backdrops, do they impact, like, because I'm asking you because you're a shooter, do they make a difference for you?
You know, I think they do to an extent, but, you know, not really. I think everyone said, you know, Madison Square Garden is the best for that. And, you know, I've usually kind of talked about backdrops, but I think we went there last year and I was like, 0 for 4 or 5. So, you know, I say it means something, but honestly, it just kind of depends on, how the jump shot feels as opposed to that.
Okay. I got one last question I want to ask before you. Peyton, you've got one of the quickest releases that I've ever seen, and that's huge for you at 6'7". How do you account for that? Is that just something that I know your father and your grandfather, did you just develop that at an early age knowing how important that was going to be? Because that makes a huge difference in your game.
Yeah, I think we never really talked about it. It's just kind of something that always kind of come naturally to me. And, my dad and grandpa they'd teach us shooting. It seemed like every 2 or 3 days they'd teach us form shots, and we go through all these different drills. But honestly, I think my jumper kind of speeds up when I'm contested just because I'm trying to get it off.
Sure.
And, I don't really try to. It's just kind of something that really happens naturally to, get into my shot. And I wouldn't say it's anything I really think about at all. It's natural. Yeah.
Okay, that's the best way to have it, Tom. Yeah.
So, how much fun are you having with your brother on the team?
That's a good
It's been awesome. And, these past few games, 4 or 5 games, I'm so proud of him for the way he's been playing.
Mm-hmm.
And, we get to play together. My dad went to the game last night, and, he was just loving seeing us out there together. And, Price went through a rough stretch. He wasn't playing much. He wasn't really contributing a whole lot. But, he just kind of figured, how can I help this team? Switched over to scout team, which I told him is something that I did as a freshman. And, it really got me going towards that Big Ten tournament that we won. And, he got himself going. He started being himself again, being aggressive. And, now he's out there. He blocked Tyson Walker's shot, and he said, I knew exactly what he was going to do because that's exactly what I did on the scout team yesterday.
That's great.
Walker, so.
That is, and he is 6'6", and you're 6'7". I think that makes a huge difference, obviously, with both you guys. You both have good reach. Your brother's got long arms and a lot of reach. If he's any shorter, he may not have blocked that shot.
Exactly. He's always been a really underrated defender. When we were playing at Waukee, we'd always give him, our toughest assignment because he's so tough and just has those defensive instincts. And, I think that's been big for us, getting him out there. He's made a ton of plays defensively lately, just covered up for any breakdowns that, others may have. And I think that's really important to have, high IQs like him and Josh and, a lot of the guys that we have out there defensively that have length. And I think that really helped last night.
Well, Peyton, we appreciate you coming on short notice like this. I know our listeners loved hearing from you. We know you're busy. We got one last question that we always ask a Hawkeye student athlete the first time we have them on. This is not sports related, so take it away, Tom.
Okay, so athletic director Beth Getz picks up the phone and calls you and says, Peyton, I need your help. We need to get some more money in here. We need you to hire a band, a singer, or an act to fill up Kinnick Stadium. Who does Peyton Sandfort hire?
That's a good question. I think the simple answer right now would probably be Caitlin Clark.
She could just stand there and play air guitar.
Exactly. I got a new girlfriend 2 years ago, and she's got me into country music.
Okay.
So I would say I went and saw Luke Combs at Soldier Field with her in May. And it was just awesome. I think if he came to Kinnick Stadium, I think that'd be pretty dang
Did he
cool.
do Fast Car?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right. He would definitely fill it right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's a
good
call,
answer.
Peyton.
That's a good answer. That's good devotion to your girlfriend, too.
Yeah.
Hey, Peyton, great stuff as usual. We'll see you. Look forward to Saturday's game. Good luck, and, good luck the rest of this way, man. I sense you guys are going to finish strong.
We're pulling for you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
Appreciate
Thanks, guys. This was fun.
Yep,
Thanks.
great. All right, Peyton Sandfort.
Oh, that was fun.
Yes.
That was fun. And,
great interview.
Tommy guessed it. Tommy said he's guessing he's maybe going to guess somebody in country music, and Luke Combs is really hot right now. I mean, and that duo, what do you call it? The duet he did with Tracy Chapman. I can still turn that on and get inspired by it. It was so good. And the way Luke Combs handled that moment on the stage, he deferred to her. He was just saying, hey, I'm here because of you in a lot of ways. This is your stage. You take over. I thought that was pretty cool, too.
It was, and it was just really well done. And
the smile on her face.
She was so happy. I'm appreciated. It was just neat seeing it.
You guys want to take another break?
We
can?
Sure.
Right. We'll be back with more Hawk Fanatic after these.
Your favorite place to eat in the Amana colonies can be your favorite place to work. The Ox Yoke Inn's 84-year reputation for quality extends beyond the food and service. The working environment, training, wages, and benefits are the best of any independently owned and operated restaurant in the area. Come and apply and have lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch on us. Is it worth the short drive from Cedar Rapids or Iowa City? I guarantee it. We're busy and we're searching for the best, and that means you. Apply today in person or online at oxyokeinn.com for those positions of cooks, pie and pastry bakers, waiters, waitresses, and bartenders. Apply today in person or online at oxyokeinn.com.
The Ox Yoke Inn.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen and bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit suples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Deary Brothers Ford Winter Clearance Event. Warm up to these hot deals. Get a new 2023 Ford F-150 XLT Crew Cab up to $6,000 off MSRP. Plus 1.9% financing for 72 months. Get a new 2023 Ford Bronco Sport $1,500 rebate. Plus 1.9% financing for 66 months. 75 pre-owned cars and trucks clearance price. Plus top dollar for your trade. Hurry in before these hot deals are gone. Or shop online at DearyFord.com. Deary Brothers Ford in Iowa City, here for you.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
We have 6 sales staff. 5 of them have design degrees.
I'm Brad Stork with Bachmeyer Carpet One Floor and Home.
A lot of people that come through our doors want to see what the newest is, what the latest and greatest is, what the trends are. They want to see what the color palettes are. That is why I have the designers on staff. We can work towards making sure that the flooring coordinates with what you've got just by hearing that's what my furniture is, this is what my wall color is. That picture that you saw on Pinterest, whether it be carpet, luxury vinyl tile and plank, whether it be tiled, ceramic, porcelain, natural stone, hardwood. I've got 100,000 samples to choose from here. If you're thinking that you're doing a full remodel and you want to see the colors with the flooring, we have paint samples for all of the major brands. Bring in your cabinet sample. Bring in your countertop sample. That's what our designers are great at. They know how to give you the look that you're looking for.
Bachmeyer Carpet One, located at 3402 Merchant Street in Coralville, across from Tyson's.
Something big is happening.
Introducing Hy-Vee Perks. Now, Hy-Vee Fuel Saver is Hy-Vee Perks. Get the same great benefits like fuel savings. Plus, save even more on hundreds of products store-wide with Hy-Vee Perks prices. Like Tide, H Perks price $9.97. And bananas, H Perks price 39 cents a pound. Make the switch or sign up for Hy-Vee Perks and start saving today. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Way too warm for winter as highs today soar to the low 60s. We'll see the clouds thickening as chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms roll through overnight. This means we'll start tomorrow off mostly cloudy and gradually become mostly sunny as winds start to whip out of the northwest, dragging our temperatures much cooler for Friday. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Currently, it's 48.
KCJJ weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Back to Hawk Fanatic.
We're back.
This weather is incredible.
It is.
What'd you say? It was too warm for
Way
February?
too warm for winter.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Well, and she's right. But it's, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because it is, here it is. So.
Right.
Yeah,
We're slogging through that horrible 2 week snowstorm period where it's bitter cold and
But even
windy.
the downside now, it's going to be back down in the high 30s or 40s. That's
fine.
So what?
That's fine.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, so I'll give you one. We kind of know the three heads of the Mount Rushmore of Iowa Hawkeye Athletic. Who's your fourth one? Because we have Caitlin, we have Niall, and then that guy that coached wrestling here for a little while.
Dan Gable.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, who's your fourth one? Who's the fourth head?
Well, I mean, the thing that mine would just be Iowa student. Gable didn't wrestle here, though. I mean, as a coach, I'd put Gable in the coaches of Mount Rushmore of coaches. Does that make?
I was kind of thinking overall, though, Pat. I mean, just overall Iowa Athletic.
Well, I guess Hayden Fry.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
Well,
Hey,
if you're talking athletes, then let's go back to that.
Well, the only two athletes I would have right now, for sure, Niall Kinnick and Caitlin, and everything else is open for debate. I actually wrote that column last week. I mean, everything else is open for debate. There's so many people you could put on there, but to me, Niall Kinnick, and it used to be just Niall Kinnick and everyone else. Now Caitlin, to me, has earned that spot. And
okay, and as far as coaches go, Evie's got to be on.
Well, Evie. Well, are we going coaches just football by sport or just coaches in all?
I think coaches in general.
Coaches in general. I mean, Evie, Lute, Hayden, Dan Gable. Who am I missing? Well, Lisa. I mean, it's.
You wouldn't put Dr. Tom up there somewhere?
I mean, you definitely consideration, but I think Lute getting to the Final Four kind of gave him an edge, and the program was in sorry shape when Lute took over.
Well, and we have to consider Bucky O'Connor,
Yes.
who got to the Final Four twice.
He did. His problem is he just didn't coach long, but he did get to the Final Four. The game has changed a lot since then.
It
He got
has.
up against Bill Rudd. But, yeah, definitely Bucky O'Connor. It's tough. But to me, the athletes, if you just take men and women and throw everything together, all sports, you've got Niall and Caitlin, and then everything else is open for debate, in my opinion.
So I have one more question. I've always wondered this. I've read that our football team has a national championship.
Well, the
Is
58
that
season.
actually, what's that?
The 58 season. Didn't they get the
Yeah.
Grantland Rice trophy or something like that?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the football writers gave him the championship.
Yeah, but
Is that recognized as an actual national championship, though?
I don't believe so. I know Iowa recognizes it, but I don't believe so, no. Because I think, who won it that year? was it LSU?
I can't. Yeah, maybe.
I can't remember for sure, but it's recognized by some, but not by everybody.
Yep.
Okay. I always wondered that because you hear about it and you hear that there, you see some of the list of teams, how they've won national championships throughout the years. You see the 58 season. Did we tie Notre Dame that year?
I don't have it in front of me.
I don't either, and I can't remember. I mean, I was a kid, so I can't really.
I was 6 years from being born. I can't remember if they did or not. I mean, I guess we could look. Somebody wants to Google 1958 Iowa football season, you can find it.
Are you 60 yet, Pat?
Yes, I turned 60 in August.
Okay, I turned 60 in September, so
okay, well,
I join you in that.
So you're a pup.
Welcome to the club.
You're just a pup.
We're never going to be as young as Mr. Suter. Never.
Never.
Guys, have a great day.
Right,
Thanks a lot for the call. You bet. You bet.
Yeah, I think it was it Billy Cannon and LSU that.
I think you're right, actually.
But that is the one year that Iowa is. I mean, that team was as good as.
Didn't Billy Cannon get the Heisman that year?
I think so, but I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't want to say wrong and then have you and I be ripped by the. Those guys don't even know who won the 58 Heisman. Clown show. No, this has been a fun show today.
It has.
Go from Adam to Peyton. I'm the a former Hawkeye star and a current Hawkeye star, and this is an exciting time now, man. I mean, like I said, you see the men's team finally starting to come together. I think they had to go through a lot of these ups and downs to get to this point, and
they're doing it with 4 freshmen getting a decent amount of playing time.
But yes, well, yeah, yeah, you're right. They are now. Brock's minutes are starting to go down a little bit, but no, they are. They need those freshmen, but it's Patrick, Peyton, Tony. Those first 5 or 6 guys, they are the core of this team, and they really have to keep playing well. I mean, if they have games where like Peyton and Cricky both struggle, or Peyton and Patrick both struggle, or Cricky or Tony and they struggle. They need these core guys to play. I mean, they do have depth, but this is not one of his deeper teams, especially when it comes to offense. I mean, Brock Harding will give you passing. They're not getting a lot of points off the bench other than from Patrick. Now, maybe Price will start to play that role some, but I think that's part of why DeSante Bowen kind of got lost in the rotation, because there was no offensive
scoring.
They need points.
Yep.
They need some points coming off the bench. So we'll see, though. I'm just, like Peyton said, they didn't panic and they didn't quit when they could have. There's been so many valleys that this team has faced, and they found a way to pull together and just keep grinding. And now here they are. They've given themselves a fighter's chance.
Well, and that's what we were hoping for a couple of weeks ago, saying, we've lost some games that we should have won.
But you got to keep grinding.
But, maybe they'll surprise us. And there's 2 games that I was not expecting us to win.
Now, you heard him say that it was Matt Gatens' game plan.
Yeah.
We know where Matt probably got all his help from, right, Mike?
Of course.
You think that was Gator that had that
I
game?
think probably.
That's kind of what I'm assuming, because I know Matt. So if you're listening, Mike, congratulations on that game plan for Michigan State, because it was a very good game plan.
It sure was.
Now, you get lucky. How many free throws did they miss?
Half of them. I can't remember. We took more than they did, but I think they missed maybe 7.
And I've seen them have games where they can't make free throws, and just, other than Tyson Walker, man, everyone on that team is so inconsistent offensively.
Yeah.
They just really are. But they're 9-7. He'll have that.
That's why they have 7 losses.
They'll still make the tournament, though. Barring a major collapse, they'll get in the tournament. And I know, if let's say you had Michigan State and Iowa both right there, identical resumes for one spot in the tournament, my guess is they'd give it to Michigan State, don't you?
I guess.
Fair or not, I think that's what they would do. Maybe I'm wrong. But like I said, this team has given itself a chance to stay in the postseason discussion, and that's really all you can ask for right now. Look at that sun shining. This feels like April.
I know, but it's
February.
But it's great.
What's today, the 21st?
Yeah.
February 21st.
Was out yesterday and driving around and just felt that sun on my face.
Hell, I'm like today when I leave, I'll put my sunroof.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, no, it's warm enough to where you'll see people out in their convertibles.
We're at 50 already.
I mean, you guys have it. Will you drive with your top down?
And probably not. It's not warm enough for Ann.
Not warm enough for Ann? Okay. Now, it's a little different. Mine's not a convertible. I just have a nice big sunroof. That does keep you a little more warmer. But yeah, it's not. We don't want to get now when it's 72 next week.
72 is probable.
Get that, yeah. And so yeah, no, this is I can't get over how great the weather's been.
I know. Well, and the Iowa women have some tough games coming up tomorrow.
They sure do.
Tomorrow,
Well, they have 3 left.
Florida.
Indiana. Okay, they have Indiana, Minnesota, Ohio State, and what's the other one?
Illinois, who just beat Indiana by 20.
They'll beat Illinois.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I think they're gonna. Well, I'm not sure if Indiana losing the way they did is good for Iowa. But you never know. You always hear, it's going to wake them up. I mean, if you need a wake-up call at this stage, you got issues.
No,
But,
exactly.
I mean, my guess is Indiana's going to play better against Iowa than they did against Illinois. That's
I
just
would certainly think so.
Kind of how I assume things will be. You think Caitlin hits 40? You think she'll need 40?
If she wants them.
Well, if she wants them, she could hit 50 probably.
Yeah.
60. She doesn't have a 50-point game, and she could easily have 10 of them if she wanted to.
Oh, easily.
So all the people that say, all she does is force shots. I did see with her, Cheryl Swopes has come out and apologized.
Yeah.
Good, we can move on from that.
Yeah.
You know, I think Cheryl realized that there was really no way to defend what she said. Just say you're sorry and move on.
She was wrong.
She was wrong. You know, just say you're wrong and move on. Hell, I do it all the time. I'm wrong a ton. My predictions and what have you, I mean, I miss those a lot. Like I said, I didn't think they were going to beat Michigan State.
Nope.
I gave them more of a chance than I would against Illinois, but I'm giving them I'm 35, 65 the percentage of them against Illinois.
Well, that's not a vintage Illinois team either. I mean, they're good.
They're good.
They're not great.
They're not great.
They're beatable.
That's why I think Iowa beats them here. My main reason, I think, it's because it's there. I think that's my big reason why I think Illinois is going to win. I don't think they're head over shoulders better than Iowa overall. Especially if Peyton Sanford's making shots, and if Ben Cricky's doing. I mean, if Sanford and Cricky are both playing well, man, that makes Iowa a completely different team. Like Tony had 7 last night, right? And didn't Dix just have 2?
Yeah.
So yeah, they can win without those. It's harder for them to win without Peyton and somebody on that front line scoring. It just is.
Yep.
But Peyton has really become, like I said, I expect Peyton. I will be surprised any game where Peyton scores less than 15 now. I just think that's what they're getting from him now. He's nearing the end of his junior year. He's a veteran player. Think about it. He's got one more year after this year.
I know.
Peyton Sanford. Isn't that wild?
And no COVID year.
And he doesn't have a COVID year. So we'll see. So
well, I have thoroughly enjoyed watching Peyton, and he's when he gets hot, man, it is so much fun.
Yeah, he's got a little Bohannon in him. And,
he does.
And the other thing is, and I don't want to sound corny, but he's a good kid. He's just a great representative of the university, the athletic program, the team, everything. He's the kind of kid you want in your program. That's the best way I can describe it. Because he's a good kid, and he can make threes, and he's 6'7".
And he's not afraid to mix it up.
No, and he's not afraid to take bad shots, and I mean that as a compliment. He thinks he's the best shooter in any arena he's in, and that's what you need to be as a shooter. And if Peyton Sanford was 6'1", 6 foot, he wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be playing at Iowa. Remember when we asked Haluska? I asked Adam, if you were at 6'5", if you only grew to 5'11" or 6 foot, what do you think you would have done? He goes, I probably would have pursued track. Remember that?
Yeah.
You got to win the gene pool too, and that's a big part of it too. You know, but no, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for he and his brother because they seem like good kids.
Well, and Price made some plays
He
last
did.
night that
and
really
what helped him
made a difference.
Being 6'6".
You bet.
That made
he would not have had that block.
Tyson Walker's like 6 foot, 6'1" at the most, and that makes a difference.
So we got.
Hey, when does spring training start?
They're already in.
Pitchers are already there?
I believe there's a game in a couple of days.
What do you got, Cubs? 95 to 105 wins?
Yeah.
120?
Conservatively.
Will they finish 500?
Yes, they'll finish above 500.
Last year I had them, my optimistic pick was 500 at best. Did they finish 500 last year?
Yeah. They were a couple games over.
They did, okay, because they were about 9 or 10 over, then they kind of unraveled down the stretch.
They've got a really solid pitching staff this year coming in, and
well, who did they trade for? Who did they sign? What did they do during the offseason? Because I haven't heard much of anything.
No, that's been a real bane of their existence. They got a Japanese pitcher. I can't remember his name, but they haven't signed Cody Bellinger yet. They did nothing on the free agent market, and people are pissed.
But yet you're optimistic.
Of course.
Okay.
Right. You're optimistic until you can't be.
That's right, just as you are with Iowa.
All right, my prediction is anywhere from 75 to 85 wins.
And as long as they have a much better record than the Cardinals, it's a moral victory.
Yeah.
But the Cardinals, that franchise is not in the best shape right now.
The Cardinals weren't great last
No,
year.
they were not.
So who are the Cubs starters? Pinch you
well, Hendricks is back and he's healthy.
He's healthy, and for the most part, he's good. The problem with him is when he's bad, he's horrible.
He
He's batting practice.
Yeah,
he can get rocked.
Oh, when he's bad, man, it's just like, hey, here, hit it here.
And it's not like he pitches for 3 innings and then all of a sudden the wheels fall off. It's right from
the beginning. He may not make it out of the first inning. Now that happens maybe 1 out of every 8 starts.
Yeah,
and then you got Hendricks. Who else? I can't think of any of their pitchers.
Fergie Jenkins, he's got another season in him, doesn't he?
Milt Pappas.
Kenny Holtzman.
I cannot think of any of their pitchers.
I can't either.
Right now. So, but no, it's coming. This weather makes you think of baseball.
Did you go yesterday?
Oh, I didn't. I couldn't because I wanted to be at home in case Dallas had any stuff because the baseball game was right during the same time as the basketball game.
Yeah.
And I had stuff I had to do with our site and whatever. I wanted to go there, but I just couldn't be there. I'm hoping to go to the Northern Illinois game, but I'll go to all the Big Ten series. I won't cover all 3, but I'll go to every Big Ten series at least one game. And I've told Tommy too. I mean, if I would have known Tommy was over there, I could have hired Tommy. He could have made some extra money. So I'll use Tommy for some ones that I can't be there for too.
And we're definitely going to go to some games this year.
You should, because they have a chance. They're 3-1 right now. They have a chance to have a really good team.
What kind of food do they have? Is it generally just
it's
your
that
typical...
Airmark stuff, isn't it? Tommy?
So it's hot dogs.
He's on the phone.
Hot dogs and burgers.
Hot dogs, yeah. And I don't think I've ever had a burger. Popcorn, licorice, stuff like that.
So the normal.
The normal, somewhat expensive, but
probably not tenderloins.
I don't believe so, but don't quote me on that. It's not a big concession stand.
Yeah.
And it's pretty expensive. Can you imagine that?
Yes, Aramark is expensive. I'll sure give it that. Okay.
All right. Well, did you find the Cubs starters?
Yeah. Shota Amangia is the guy I was thinking of.
From Japan?
Yeah.
Is he?
He's supposed to be lights out, so we'll see. They got Mark Leiter Jr., which is kind of a...
He's a starter now?
He might be, yeah.
Yeah, not really... Well, I'll wait and see on that one.
Albert Edzole
Remember
is
him?
their closer.
He was their closer. Now he's a starter?
No, he's the closer.
I liked him.
See, they just have the roster of the pitchers.
Okay.
They're not saying where they're at.
I'm not... Leiter has been a really... He's... I don't know. Sometimes he literally is a lighter when he goes in there.
Luke Little, Julian Merriweather. See, this is a spring training
Yeah,
roster.
I don't...
Half of these people I've never heard of before.
But baseball, first game is what? Like March 30th, April 1st?
Yep. Drew Smiley's still pitching.
Okay, I remember him. Left-handed pitcher.
Justin Steele was solid last year.
Okay, we'll see. Like I said, 75 to 85. That's my window for victories.
Jordan Wicks, I believe he was a closer too.
He had a couple good games as a starter too. I remember left-hander, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him. So, all right. Well, again, thanks to Adam Haluska and Peyton Sanford.
Yep.
And James Allen for helping to get Peyton on short notice. And everybody enjoy the weather and stay safe.
Indeed. HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.